spirit sails. Every mark on this earth tells a tale. Every day that goes by without ever asking why, you believe in your dreams. Close your eyes and believe in magic as I hold your hand. Close your eyes, believe in magic. 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 Believe in magic.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Angel Talk with Sue on International Angels Network. And today is Wednesday, February 13th, 2019. And I am your host, Sue Broome, coming to you live from Southern Arizona. I'm an intuitive healer, a spiritual teacher, and an international best-selling author. And I do private sessions and workshops. And I also love working and helping others to connect with their loved ones. Now, some of the things boy, tonight's going to be one of those nights. I can tell I'm a little punchy today, so you guys just bear with me today. So some of the things we explore here on International Angels Network is spiritual entrepreneurship, fairies and angels, astrology and numerology, spirituality, spirit guides, and so much more. If you want to find out more about, if you want to find out more about International Angels Network, you can go to internationalangelsnetwork.com and find out all about what we have going on. If you want to find out more about me, you can go to internationalangelsnetwork.com/Sue. Now, today we are a live call-in show, and the phone number, make sure put this in your phone. You can have it on speed dial. The phone number is 1-516-453-9162. And for international callers, just make sure and dial that one, the 1-516-453-9162. And then you're going to press number 1 to get in the queue. This is for every single show, for every single host. So make sure and keep that number handy. You can also Skype into the show for free anywhere from the world. So if you are listening through blogtalkradio.com/International Angels Network, there's a button when we are live on the air, and you can just push that Skype icon and you can get right in. And again, if you want to talk, you can press number 1 to get in the queue. You can also re-listen and share the replays from iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Chartable, Listen Notes, Overcast, our website, internationalangelsnetwork.com, or blogtalkradio.com/International Angels Network. The best thing is you can share it with your friends after you've listened to a show, or you can re-listen as many times as you would like. Now, today's live show is brought to you by Audible by Amazon, and you can get a free audiobook and 30-day free trial with audibletrial.com/International Angels. And there's over 450,000 titles to choose from. So hopefully you can find one that you like, and that's for iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. And again, it's audibletrial.com/International Angels. Now, also, I'd like to give a shout out and a thank you to our sponsor for International Angels Network, Sunday Sturgeon. And she is the founder and CEO of Holistic Light Rejuvenation. So thank you, Sunday. We appreciate you. Tonight's guest is Melanie France, and she has been on before. And if you are listening in If you're watching in YouTube, I already put her past show in the notes, so you can go after this show is done. You can go back and listen to it if you would like. But just to tell you a little bit about Melanie. So for tonight's show, we are going to ramp up success for all relationships using the science of numbers. We're going to discover the challenges you face and also what your strong points are. You can find out how numerology can help find your soulmate and create lasting happiness and love. Melanie has been studying numerology for over 20 years. So she currently does a variety of numerology charts as well as monthly forecast, relationship challenges, and personal charts. And she does have a Facebook page called Melanie's Tarot Page. So Miss Melanie, are you with us tonight? Are you there?
I'm here.
So excited to have you back all the way from Wisconsin, where you guys got more snow.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you. Oh, gosh, I think we got 11 inches in this week.
Really?
Yeah, it was a lot.
I'm so grateful I don't live there anymore.
Yeah, it's deep.
It is. Well, okay, so let's get right into it with relationships. What information, when we are looking at the numbers, what information do you look at to figure out about people's relationships?
I always look at the month that they were born and the day, and I don't need the year. The year is their life path, and I don't look at that at all when I look at personal relationships. Mm-hmm. So the day that they were born is their strongest vibration. That's who they are, what I call at the core of who they are. And then when you add the month and the day together, you get their attitude. So this is their personality of who they are every day as how they present themselves to the world. Mm-hmm. And those two numbers are key. And if there is further mysteries as to why the relationship isn't working, I look at the first letter of each of their names, but I rarely have to go further than that.
So is there like a list of certain numbers that are compatible with other numbers?
If you want to be really vague, generally speaking, even numbers like each other and odd numbers like each other. But it goes much deeper than that, but that's like a surfacey thing. If you were just like paying attention to that, does that mean that someone born on the 2nd can't get along with someone on the 3rd? No. There's other factors involved, but that's like a general place to start.
So, all right, let me ask you this. If someone is looking to deepen their relationship with themselves or looking to, and I think that I look at this as kind of the same but different. It might be different depending on how you interpret it. If they're looking to deepen their relationship with themselves, or if they're looking to deepen their relationship with Source, which they might view as two separate things or the same thing, how does numerology fit into that?
So to deepen your relationship with yourself depends on how you define that. So someone who is born with a strong influence of 1 is already all about themselves, but maybe not spiritually. So when they deepen their relationship with their self, it might mean they're going to take out the qualities of that 1 and enhance it. So they're going to be leadership, independent. I can do this by myself and get many creative ideas. Mm-hmm. A person, if they want to connect with the divine, those numbers are like number 7 and 9 are very mystical numbers. And so for numerology to help them, they could do like a remedy on their living space, because your house influences you, and you could have a spiritual number be, you could do a remedy on your house to make it enhance the spiritual feeling or vibration of the space you're occupying. You can also do remedies for everything, actually, and even your own core number. You can do a remedy.
So let's use me as an example.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So my month is 10 and my day is 21. And so let's just say that I wanted to deepen my connection with God, with universe, with source, whatever I language or whatever people language it. But if I wanted to deepen my spiritual side.
Okay. So what I would have you do is, let's say that you had a complete disconnect from the divine. The number seven is always a mystical number. So you're a 21, which is a 3, and I would have you put a +4 on one of your shoes that would make you a 7 for a while. If you didn't like that, you could exit out. But that would turn you into a 7, which would instantly put you on the mystical path.
So
instantly.
I would put a +4. Does it matter whether it's the left or the right foot, or if you did a +2 on each foot?
No. You only do one remedy. One shoe, one remedy.
That's good. I'm glad I asked that, because I was kind of being smart, but it's like, okay, so, and it doesn't matter which foot you said.
No,
and
it doesn't matter. You
could actually write it on the sole of your shoe if you wanted.
With a pen or a marker. Yeah. That works.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
And if you want now, and if, I guess, because if someone didn't consider connecting deeper with source and to themselves as the same thing, if they considered it to be different, what is there anything else that they might do?
So if they want to just deepen their relationship or understanding with themselves, because you know we're whole already. So if they don't feel whole, there's usually something lacking in their chart. There's a weakness or there's a conflict. So depending on what that is, it isn't like, if you're feeling a lack of a relationship with yourself, do this and it works for everybody. It isn't really quite that simple. But what I tell people is you could carry, I would say, the number 4. You could just write the number 4 and put it in your purse, because 4s are structured. It's all about nature, but it's not necessarily about the higher divine and God. So 4 would be about structure in your life and bringing you to an organized way of thinking about your own life.
So what would I write if it was me? What would I write in my
So you don't have to do anything, because you're already a 4.
Got it. Oh, got it.
So you're good.
I'm already all about me. Is that what you're saying?
No, this is a deeper relationship with yourself. So your 4 makes you do a lot of research. Okay. So you would be researching yourself.
Got it. Oh, okay. Now, what if someone is not in a relationship and would like to be in a relationship?
Right. So there's 2 things to look at. One, what's their personal year that they're in? Because if they're in a personal year of 1, that's the hardest year to meet somebody. And the second thing I would tell them is just write a number 2 down, because 2s love relationships. They love relationships. And carry that in their wallet or their purse, because that's going to harmonize them for looking for a relationship. It doesn't mean it will bring somebody knocking to your door, but it means if you take just a little bit of effort, the universe will meet you because of that vibration of the 2. You'll be able to meet someone way easier.
All right. So what does it work if, like, say that you have 2 things of the same that you put in your purse? If you said, okay, I'm gonna call these 2 pens. I'm gonna call these 2 pens. I'm gonna put them in my purse, and this is my number 2. Does that work, or do I actually have to write the number 2?
You have to write the number 2, because numerology is based on symbols, and the symbols are based on letters and numbers. So you know the letter 2 is BKT. So some people would say, well, why don't I write a B or a K or a T? Because those are 2 vibrational letters. But I have always got in the habit of remedies using only the number value and not the letter. when I'm doing a remedy.
Got it. Okay. Now, another question. How does the house number, how does that play into a relationship if you're trying to bring one in? Does it like, okay, I'm going to use me as an example again. All right, so I have my 1021, and if I want to be more spiritual, I know that I can put the +4 in my shoe. Does the house number have any influence on it, or does the +4, is that the most important?
So you asked a two-part question. So your question is, can your house vibration affect your relationship? Absolutely. So how does that influence that you made yourself a 7? Well, for you, 7s are alone, okay? They want to be left alone. So by carrying a 7 with you, it's going to just say, don't touch me. I'm on my own path, because 7 is an inside. I'm going inside to connect with the divine. Your house number, if it was a 1 or a 7, you for sure wouldn't meet anybody. And depending on the personal year that you were in, let's say that you were in a personal year of 2, which does want you to meet somebody. If your personal year is 2, the year would be saying, come on, Sue, this is time to get a relationship, because you're not going to have another 2 year for 8 more years in the cycle. But your house might, if it's a 1, would say, get out of here. I want to be alone. You're not coming to this house. Sue wants to be alone. So if your house, it depends, your house number does affect you. If you're in an apartment, it's the apartment that's on your door. It's the number that's on the door, not the building.
And remind us again, how do we find out what our personal year is?
Okay, so we already know that your month, which is October, which is a 1, plus your 21. So 1 plus 2 plus 1 is a 4. So you just add that to 3, because 2019 is a 3 year, okay? 2 plus 1 plus 9 is a 3. So you would add 3 to your 4. So you're in 2019, you're in a 7 year. So leave me alone.
So wait a minute. So you said, oh, yeah. Okay.
Add them all up. It'd be 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 3.
Yep. So I'm in a 7 year anyway. So putting a +4 in my shoe.
I would say to you, your chances of having a relationship this year, 0.
But I'd be very spiritual. Okay.
You'd be very spiritual, but the chances of you actually having a relationship work are slim to none.
Okay, so forget the shoe. Forget the 4 in my, not that I'm looking to meet anybody, but forget the 4 in my shoe, because I'm already in a 7 year.
Correct. You're in a 7 year personally, but your question for being a 7 is, how do I deepen? So the cycle will encourage you to research the mystical things, but to get a deeper internal connection for your core number, that's different than your cycle. So you could still make your core number a 7 and deepen your connection to a higher realm.
Okay.
And you're going to be alone this year. As far as you won't be alone, as far as, you can go out and do things with groups of people.
But you also, now you said the other day, if I wanted to meet, no, was it you that said that? I'm sure it was you. If I did want to meet somebody, I could put a 2 in my purse.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kind of a strange question, but for an apartment, if the apartment number is an MD, like that, like almost like a doctor, but the M and a D.
Yeah.
How does that work?
That's a 4-4.
So they both convert to 4. Okay. Oh.
And so it's an 8. You add them together. So they live in an 8 apartment then.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I like 44. All right. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
What about if someone wanted to, let's see, if you wanted to find out your relationship to your business, how does that work? Is it that you convert your business name to a number? How does it?
Correct.
Or do you take the inception date of your business as its birth date?
You could do either of those, but the name, the inception date is just going to be that imprint, like a date of birth. But the business name is what I would do, is I would break down the business name to see what that name vibrates as.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be more important to me than the birth date of the business, is the name given to it.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
What's the number one question that you get on relationships?
Why is he driving me crazy? It is.
And is there a remedy for that?
There is. Depending on what's the cause of the craziness, there'd be a different remedy.
Besides besides giving him the boot.
Yeah. You can literally save a relationship with a numerology remedy if you apply it correctly.
What if if you're in a relationship with someone where maybe you want them to be a little bit more assertive or a little bit more taking care of business?
So it gets really sketchy, and you have to keep a high integrity, because, one of my clients went out and changed her husband's shoe, and I'm like, no. You don't do that. You got to have their permission. Stay high on integrity. And by the way, it worked. It worked, because it does work. It's a science, but you got to keep a high integrity.
Right.
If you explain to the partner that, this number, if they would change their core number to something that's more assertive and makes them more responsible, and they're open to that, and you show them how to do that, absolutely. As long as you tell them it can be reversed, you can cross it off if you don't like it, because a lot of people fear that it's permanent, no remedy is permanent. None of them are.
This just made me think of something. My brother's got his house, and I know we're doing relationships tonight, but my brother's got his house for sale. And he's had tons of showings. I mean, I don't even know how many. I know he's getting kind of like fed up with it. Is there anything that will help sell the house?
What's the number of the house?
Of course, you would ask me that. I don't know it by heart, but of course, I'm looking him up so we can use this as a teaching example. 932.
Oh, God. Oh.
It must be a bad number.
It is. It's a horrible number.
Okay,
it's a horrible.
What kind of remedy can he use?
He needs to put a +1 in tiny little letters on the bottom of the front door. Okay. And make that house a 6. It's a 5 right now, so people walking into it will feel upset. They'll feel upset. No wonder he wants to move out. I bet he had a lot of chaos there.
He was in the flood up in Baraboo.
Of course. Of course. A 5 house would be flooded. The electrical would be ruined, water in the basement, mold, everything. You don't want to live in a 5 vibration. Doesn't mean you have to move, but it's okay that he's moving, but he needs to put a +1 there. That will bring in a family. It'll make the house more nurturing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. I'll have to tell him that, because he's really, and of course, when you're selling your house, you have to get everything perfect. And with you guys having so much snow, he's got to make sure and get out there and plow
right.
it.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Let me give out the number one more time just to make sure. So, because if people want to start calling right now, you guys can, and we're more than happy to. I'm going to put Melanie to work tonight. She already is working. Phone number again is 1-516-453-9162, and you can press number 1 to get in the queue, or if you are listening on either Blog Talk and you are in the chat room, you can ask a question that way, or if you are on YouTube and want to get in the chat room and ask a question that way, you can ask questions all different ways. All right. What's another question we can ask? I love these relationship questions though, because do you find that there's a lot more relationship questions that come up around Valentine's just because it's Valentine's?
Right. There's a lot of chaos and expectations. Women want to be nurtured and pampered, and not all of their spouses have the numbers for that. So, depending on how they're getting along anyway, I mean, it's just a high stressful time. So yeah, there's a lot of relationship questions around this time of the year.
Mm-hmm. And is it usually people just trying to find better ways to get along, or is it better ways or another way to deepen the relationship?
Most of the time, when it gets to the point where you have to come and see me, it's they're barely hanging on by a thread. Usually they don't come to me when everything is fine and they want to deepen it. I'm the crisis the crisis numerologist.
So if you have somebody with a birthday of January 26th, I don't have the husband's date of birth, but I have the first initial.
What's that?
K.
And what's
he's a K and she's a B.
Okay, so BKT are the two numbers. So the first initial of their names would make them in harmony. But I got to tell you, being an H and having a 1 with the H, if she's a powerhouse. Thank goodness she has the 9 to kind of calm that down, because 9s are very compassionate, but the 8s are the most powerful. So if he doesn't have an 8 to match it, he doesn't stand a chance against any kind of discussion. If there's something she wants, she's going to get it.
So it sounds like she is very much she does stand up for herself, from what you can tell by the numbers. Oh,
she should. Absolutely. She should, with a 1 and an 8. She's very powerful. You can either resonate to the positive side of the number or the negative side. So if she feels powerless, she's really powerless, because 8s, they either are very powerful or they crash big. They crash the biggest of any of them. And so if you're challenged and you're not in harmony with your personal numbers and you're an 8, you're going to be really struggling with power issues.
Okay. And if they are struggling with power issues with the 8, what advice numerology wise could you give that person?
I would have her put a +2 on the bottom of her. Well, it depends. If she feels powerless, I would have her put a +2 on the bottom. That's going to actually calm her down, and it's going to be in harmony with the 2 that's already in the date of birth. Mm-hmm. But the 2 is going to make her a 10. So that's going to make her a 1. And it's going to make her more independent. If she did a +3, that would make her a 2, and it would calm her down. So it depends on what her goal is. If she just wants some peace in her life, peace and harmony, I would say +3. But if she wants to get her power back, I would say +2, and that would make her a 1. And then that might help her a lot.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to take a call from Doug from Wisconsin. Doug, are you there?
You bet I am. How are you two doing this evening?
We're doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hi, Melanie.
Hi, Doug. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you on the show. Just kind of curious. The reason I called, I was wondering now, if two people are in a relationship and they're living together, where they reside, I assume, has an impact. The number of their home has an impact on how things go for them, correct?
100% correct.
So I'm just kind of curious, does that change like year to year, or?
No.
Oh.
Where you live, the address doesn't change. The address stays the same, I'm assuming, unless you're moving a lot.
No.
So it doesn't change. Then your birthday doesn't change, and the person you're with Those are all solid, unchanging numbers unless you do a remedy.
So, are you able to, if I gave you a birthdays, are you able to tell me if we're at a good place for resonance?
Yeah, what's your month and day?
5/21.
And a spouse?
3/23.
And what's the number of your house?
If there's a letter like an NWS or E, does that get included?
Yes.
W10741.
Okay. And the W is a 5. So let me add this up quickly. Oh my God. That's people that live in 5s and 9s, you have to do remedies because they're very, 5 is upsetting, but a 9 is emotionally upsetting. And you could always be on the cusp of something ending, like thinking, is this going to even make it? Is this relationship going to make it? You have to have a very strong relationship to live in a 9 house. 5, 6. Let me just make sure I added that up before I have you do a remedy. I'm going to re-add it just to make sure that I got all my P's and Q's. Yeah, you've got to add a +6 to your door. You've got to add a +6.
So we don't have a number on our door, but we'll put it on.
No, but that's where you do the remedy. Our address is out on the street.
Okay.
It's out on the street, but you want to change the vibration of the house, and you do it on the house. You don't do it where the address is located because ours is out on the street. You do the remedy on the door, always on the door. I just heard the door. Are you doing it?
No, that's probably the TV in the background.
Okay. You're going to do a +6 because that house is not supporting a relationship.
Okay.
You're a 3/8.
Okay, well,
You're a 3, and she's got a lot of 3s in her month and day. You both have 8s, so you can handle each other. The power of an 8. The biggest thing is that you could have power battles. Like, I want you to do this, and nope, I want you to do this, and it'd be very strong with an 8. Not like a 4. 4 is toned down. So you have really powerful numbers, the two of you. So if you do have issues, they could blow up to be big pretty quickly. But luckily, with your 3, you're kind of toned down. It kind of makes you fun and joyful. And she's got a 5 as her core. So she's going to be pretty unpredictable. For someone, she's not going to be as predictable as what sometimes people want in a relationship. But that's okay. That's her core number she was born with.
Yep, and I'm good with that.
Yeah. She kind of does things differently, but that's okay. 5s are very interesting, unique people.
Aren't we all?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Doug. I hope that helps.
Yeah, that's great. You guys have a great evening. Take care,
All right.
and
All right.
have fun.
Thank you, Doug.
Okay, hang on a minute, Melanie. I got to read some stuff. I got to get some stuff. All right, where is it? So I know we have a lineup of calls and questions, but let me just give you a quick rundown. If you want to find out at internationalangelsnetwork.com about what you can do as a spiritual practitioner to help grow your business, you can go to internationalangelsnetwork.com and check out either the directory or the membership. And both of them may have just what you are looking for. Also, just to tell you what's coming up on International Angels Network over the next couple of days, we have Thursday is the Alex Levy Show. Self-love is in the air. Plus, he'll be doing some mini readings. And then Saturday, we have Susie Parrott with Angelic Light. And Sunday, we have Mystical Connection with Claudia Ibera, the balance of shamanic and cosmic connections with Blanc Bayer. And then next Tuesday, we have Angel Navigation with Diane Morgan. And next Wednesday, you have me again with a topic that the angels will be telling me soon, and mini readings. Okay, quick. You're still there, right, Melanie?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to go back to the 126 and the person we were talking about before with the first initial of B, birthday of 126. His first initial with a K, his birthday found out is 4/30. And basically what the question is how to have an easy split.
So if they're going to be separating, he's a 30, so communication is going to be important to him. She's got a 2-6, and 2s can be kind of secretive. Like I don't want to like tell everything, all the details. And that will be the opposite of what he needs. He also needs to be like left alone during the process. So 7s, want to be left alone, and they want to know. He would be better like with written communication or emails or something. This is what's going on to communicate. She's got that 8, so she's going to be like probably controlling most of it. I'm guessing that she'd want to have most of the control of it. She's got a 9 for her everyday personality. That supports ending. 9 supports endings. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking that the B and the K are both 2s, and 2s tend to stay in relationships way longer. Even if they're toxic, they stay way longer than they should, just because they like hang in there. 2s like hang in there. So even the split, they could hang in there. It could draw out. So if she wants the split to go faster, she is in a 9. She's in a 3-year and he's in a 1-year. Actually, both those years this year will support both of them in their personal years for having a split. This is a good year for them to do it. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. We have a caller, Angie from Arizona.
Hi, Sue.
Hi, Angie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. So what kind of question do you have for Miss Melanie?
Well, I'm just curious about what she could tell me about me and my husband based on our birth dates.
Okay, what is your birthday, month and day?
It's August 6th.
And what's his?
August 30th.
She's fast.
Yeah.
I can hear her scribbling away.
Can you hear that? Can you really hear that? Because I just got a new webcam, and the sound, it has 2 speakers in it. I wouldn't be surprised if you could hear everything. Angie, you're a 6 and he's a 3 for the core. So you guys, you're very nurturing, and he wants to have fun and do a lot of things outgoing, but he does have that 8. But guess what? You got an 8 to match him, so he's not going to pull anything on you, and you can't. You can meet each other with that powerful number. You're more kind of a rebel, free-spirited, resilient kind of person. He has to get to know people before he trusts them, and he also can be very sensitive side to him, even if he doesn't want to admit it because of his 8. Some of the challenges that you might have is you might want a little more freedom. You don't want a clingy person. You need to have a lot of freedom to be able to go and do everything, and you don't always need a plan. You can spontaneously, whereas he can be spontaneous from the 3, but the 2 would make him be like, I would rather have, a plan for things.
Okay.
But as far as your numbers go, the gifts that you give each other is that you create a beautiful space for him. You make sure that, that you create a lot of beauty around not only yourself but your environment, which would be very comforting to him.
Okay.
He could either be challenged. He could be challenged with listening, or he could embrace the two. Twos generally are good listeners, but threes are not. So he's kind of got a conflict in his chart there. So there might be times where he wants to listen to you and times where he can't because he's just engaged in something else.
Sure. Yeah.
Threes like to spend money, so he could, you kind of have to like watch that, if he gets excited and wants a bunch of tools or whatever he's into. They kind of have to watch their money, but luckily he's got a balance there of the two that would tell him, twos like to kind of hold on to their money and threes like to spend it. So there again, when I see a conflict like that, he can run in streaks, or, trigger times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
Good deal.
Is there anything that we could do to make things even better, maybe?
Yeah, let's see. What's the initial of his first name?
S.
Like Sam?
Yes.
Okay. And so both of you have ones for your first letter of your names, and ones can have battle energy. Like, no, it's my way.
Yeah.
No, it's my way.
Yeah.
And so if you find yourself in that battling mode too often, you should carry a 2. Just write a number 2 down and carry that in your purse, and it will tone that down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Mm-hmm. And try to be aware of that. Try to be aware of when you're in that battling mode and say, okay, this is my first letter of my name coming out, and tone it down.
Right.
And you'll be fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling, Miss Angie.
Sure. See you Sunday.
Okay. See you Sunday. Bye.
Okay.
Okay, Melanie, this is on YouTube, and I'm going to try to see if I can decipher because it seems like there's kind of a string. So Taylor says she has a custody court tomorrow, huge day. How do you find the numbers of this to get any information on the outcome? So that's kind of a question. And what would be beneficial for her to find out? For what kind of numbers would she even look for?
Well, if the court date's tomorrow and it's a 14, that's bad because that's a 5, and 5s are all about upsets. And so being upset, which a custody battle would be upset already, and then it's on an upsetting day, which is kind of interesting. Why would we choose the 14th for Valentine's Day? It doesn't make sense to me as a numerologist because it's a lot of upsets. But what she should do is on her calendar for the day of the 14th, I would just have her put a little +1 there. It makes it a 6. It makes that day a 6 vibration, which is all about family and doing what's right for the family, the whole family.
Okay, so, and I think I'm finding out more information, and then that totally makes sense. So her birthday is 11/5.
Oh, okay. So she's somewhat in harmony with that day, then being a 5.
And the ex who is in custody is 9/15. And the daughter is 4/30, and she's the one that it's about. Does that all make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Does that help? Okay, good.
Okay, so the ex is in a 9-year personally, and he has a 9-month, but he's a 6/6, and it's all about family. He could be putting up, if it's a custody battle between the ex and her, she's got her hands full with that. She's got her hands full with that because he's a 6/6 and he thinks he knows what's best for the family. She is in a 1 year, and so is the daughter, which is all about, it's powerful. It's all about myself and my own needs and me. It's a very new beginning. Because I'm a little worried about her changing it to a 6 day because that's going to be his power day because he's a 6/6. So knowing that additional information, I'm going to say leave it a 5 because she's a 5. for her core. So go ahead and leave the court date tomorrow at a 5. And
because that's better for her, and 6 would be better for him.
Right. So if she wants to know, what I do in cases like this is have her write a number 6 down and put it in her purse, because that's number 6 is take care of the whole family. 6 is the mother nurturing number. So just put a number 6, no plus sign, just the number 6 on a piece of paper in your purse, and everything will be fine.
Okay. There you go, Miss Taylor. And I also feel calling on archangels Michael, Gabriel, Metatron, and Uriel for tomorrow. So there you go. Okay, let's do another phone call. We have Sarah from Wisconsin. Hello, Sarah. Are you there?
Hi.
Hi. How you doing? How you doing tonight, Sarah?
Good. How are you two?
Wonderful.
Fabulous. So what do we got for Miss Melanie?
Well, I just want to know what I should be aware of or what I should look for in relationship.
Okay, what's your month and day that you were born?
February 10th.
Wow, you just had a birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Okay, so what you have to realize is that you have a month of a 2, and 2 is love relationships, but your day of 10 is a 1, and 1s want to be left alone. So you've got kind of a vibration of somebody who kind of wants to be able to be accepted for exactly who you are. You want to be, you're a leader, you have a lot of ideas, you know, creative and on the go, high energy at times. The 2 would tone that down a little bit. Your 3 wants communication. You want a relationship that's with communication. The 1, if you're not balanced in your 1, you'll draw in relationships where they try to manipulate you. And that, you know, you don't need that. So going forward, I would tell you to carry a 2 in your purse, because that's going to, or if you really are serious about this, make a remedy of a +1 on one of your shoes. And that's going to change your core vibration to a 2. And that's going to line you up for meeting having a relationship. Do you live in an apartment or house number?
Yeah, I live in an apartment.
What's the apartment? Apartment what?
Just 217.
Well, of course, you picked a 1 apartment, and a 1 will kick anybody out. They don't want you to have, your apartment doesn't want you to have a relationship. So you live you're a 1 and you chose a 1 for a place to live. So you're going to have to also do a remedy on your house. You're going to have to put a +1, or your apartment is going to say to you, Sarah, you don't need a relationship. I'm not going to allow it in here anyway. You can meet in the park or something, but you're not going to have one here. So you've got a couple of remedies to do there. 1 on your shoe and 1 on your apartment, and then you're all good.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Miss Sarah, for calling in tonight.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Bye. All right. Here's one. Vicky. So this is from Vicky, she's on YouTube. Her birthday is 6/11. Her house number is, and I'm not sure if it's a West or if it truly is a W, because she has W10890, and she says she's not married.
So she's wondering why she's not married, or wants to be married?
That's what it sounds like. I'm not seeing anything else added to that, so that must be it. But like I said, I don't know if it's a W in the house number or a West on the street, because she's got W10890.
That's okay. I'll figure it out.
Of course you will.
Oh, God. She lives in a 5. Do you remember what I was saying in the beginning of the show about 5s and 9s?
Crazy.
So you're going to do a remedy on your house. You're going to put a +1. You're going to put a +1 on any door that goes to the outside. Garage door, house door, tiny. One woman did 3-foot vinyl letters, and her postman knocked on her door and said, "What's going on here?" It's not bigger is better. Tiny little remedy on the bottom of the door or the top of the door.
Is it only on one door? Not on
yes.
every single door, only on one.
One door,
yep.
One remedy, plus one. Okay, so that's the first thing. Vicki, you do best when you're in a relationship, but you've got one of the hard numbers because you've got an 11. And 11 is independent. It's 1-1. But you really need to be in a relationship because you thrive better. And guess what? Here's the good news. 2019 is a 2 year for you. So this is the year for you to have a relationship. And I have no doubt that it will happen to you. You just have to get that remedy of that house, because what the house will do is it'll bring somebody in that will upset you, and we don't want that. So put a +1 on the house. The house is all good then. You've got great numbers for having a relationship. So if you do that remedy on the house, it should shift everything for you.
Awesome. All right, let's do another phone call. Carrie from Rhode Island.
Hello.
Hi, Carrie. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely.
I am the second August 6th that you would have.
You have what?
So I was happy to hear that. I'm the second August 6th caller, so that's my birth date.
Oh, good for you. It's a popular date.
I guess. That's funny.
Apparently. And I am currently in a relationship with my significant other. His birthday is February 26th. And we actually own 4 properties together, and we reside in one, but the mailing address is another. So I'm not sure which one to provide you with the rental properties. We're renovating in a very tumultuous period.
So we don't have to necessarily look at the space if everything is going well in your relationship. Then I'm not concerned about the space. But you both have 8s. You have a 6, which makes you nurturing. It makes you very nurturing, calm, all about family. You want everything. You want a relationship to be in harmony, but you also have that 5 of your personality, and 5s, man, they do their own thing. Sometimes they're there for the relationship, and other times they're just off traveling and doing their own thing.
I was a flight attendant, so you are 100% correct. I was a former flight attendant.
Well, there you go, flying all over the place, literally. And he's got a 2 and a 2 and a 6, so he's got the 8. He can handle you, but he's also got some sensitivities and quietness, or he's not quite as compatible with you as some of the other numbers would be. He can tend to be a loner at times, and also stubborn. He could be stuck and stubborn at times. So as far as where you're living, if it has a different, if the mailing address, if it's a post office box, I don't care. That's not your house number. It would be where you are actually living in and the number that's assigned to that space. It's
672, and it was my father's address. It's the address I grew up in, actually. My father passed a few years ago, and I inherited it, and then my grandmother passed, and this person came into my life, and then he purchased that house. So we own my family's property, but I'm sort of ready to kind of move on because it has been very stuck, like you mentioned. So if that helps, it is 672, which is our mailing address, where we live.
672. That's a 6 house. So, that's a house where it's funny that you inherited that, because that's what 6s are. They can be family and family inheritance. And it can be like a lot of family farms are 6s because they want to pass them on from generation to generation. And 6 is a good number to do that. Don't use numerology when you buy another place, because you can do remedies. Look for the property without any numbers. This is what I tell people. Don't even look at the numbers, because there's remedies for that. So look at the property for all the reasons except numbers when you're looking.
That's good.
But that makes sense. That house is actually a good house. It's a nurturing house.
I'm going to
Awesome.
make you laugh, though, because I inherited my father's license plate. In Rhode Island, license plates are something, I mean, if it's a rare one, they pass it down. I'm not really sure. Again, it's kind of trivial, but my license plate is my first initial of my last name and 66. So I know that I'm in my heart center now, and I'm ready to have that family. But again, he's a firefighter, so they have other callings.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand that. 100%.
When sixes want to have children, there's no stopping them. Even a firefighter can't put out that flame because a 6 wants to be a.
That's funny.
They need to be around, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
appreciate that, though. That provides a lot of clarity.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank you, Carrie. All right.
much.
I know. Thank you. I know we only have a couple minutes left. Let's see if we can get another phone call and maybe one other question. But Madeline from Wisconsin.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
How are you? Good. How are you?
Fabulous. What do you have for Miss
Good.
Melanie tonight?
I am curious in my marriage if it's worth hanging on and fighting for or time to let go.
What's your month and day?
December 3rd.
And what's his?
January 13th.
Okay, so here's the thing about this, about your numbers. You need somebody who's a good communicator and they're spontaneous and they make you happy. You need a lot of nurturing. And he's got a 4, which makes him kind of serious at times. And also, he's got a couple of 1s there that could make him all about just his own needs and not necessarily worried about yours.
Yeah.
And, he's got that 5 that makes him unpredictable, and 6s don't like that unpredictable things, So he's also has 2 addiction numbers. When 3 and 5 appear together, he could possibly maybe drink too much or smoke too much or something like that. Sometimes those 2 numbers together can indicate that he's got habits, that are hard to break. So you're in a 9 year. So this is a year where if you were going to end it, this would be a good year because this is the vibration of the year is for endings. If you were going to try to hang in there with it, I would tell you you can't do a remedy on him unless you have his permission, but I would tell you to put a +1 on your shoe, which is going to make you a 4. And he's a 4, and that might help you see things from his vibration, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But with those numbers, you do have challenges. What is his first initial of his first name?
N, as in Nancy.
Yeah, see, that's a 5. Yeah, he's unpredictable.
Got a lot of 5s going on.
And I've already changed locations. We're not living together, so I'm trying to answer my question.
Okay. I'm going to tell you, Madeline, I know the music's going to start really quick. So, yeah, so you might want to re-listen to some of the previous stuff that Melanie has said too. But thank you so much for calling in tonight. We appreciate it.
I appreciate being able to get on. Thank you.
Good wishes.
And thank you, Miss Melanie, for being on tonight. Of course, it was just a whirlwind, as it always is. And if you wouldn't mind going out to the YouTube chat to see if there's any other questions that we didn't answer, that would be awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Melanie
everybody.
France, thank you, everybody, for listening and for all the questions on YouTube and on Blog Talk Chat. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time on Angel Talk with Sue.